Hi everyone, Alex here from Simple Knit. Today I'm gonna show you how to knit a baby jumpsuit step by step. All the skills you need for this project is pull, knit, increase, decrease stitches, working in wrong and right side, working in round, and I think that's all we need. So let's dive right in. And here come the list that I will need for this project. First is yarn. The yarn I use for my project is 100% acrylic, and I will need about 1.5 balls in saffron color, 100 gram. And if you live in Finland, you can find it in mini money. And here is the print name, Tehdas. And come a little of white color just to make some stripe, and then left over in orange. I tell you the purpose later. And then the measurement tape, scissors, and some large hand sewing needles for the binding up, a crochet hook G7, circle needle size US 4 or 3.5 millimeters. Then another circle needle size US 2 or 2.75 millimeters. You can use 3.3 millimeters or 2.5 millimeters. It's okay. Then comes bunch of markers that I make out of leftover yarn. A note to, take a note. Then 5 buttons in 2 centimeters. And I think that's all I need for the project. Before starting the project, first we need to figure out the gauge, and the gauge is one of the most important things that we need to know before we start knitting. Because without knowing the gauge might lead you to the situation of having too big or too small garment. And normally in Finland, all the yarns sold in shop mentions the gauge in their labels. As you can see, here is written that 22 stitches times 32 rows will be equally to 10 centimeters with the needle size 3.5 millimeters. But in case that the yarns you bought doesn't have the gauge information, then you just have to do it yourself. And here I show you how to do it. That first I take the circular needle size 3.5 millimeters, and with the saffron color I cast on with the long tail cast. And to start the long tail cast, first I make a knot like this, and then I use the needle to cast on 14 stitches. So here come the second, this the second, and I make totally 14. And after getting the 14 stitches, I start the first row, and the first row will be all knit like this. And after the first row, I turn my work to the second row, and the second row will come with all pulling. So I just keep pulling like this. Or then you can pull it like this, another way. And you keep on repeating these two rows, the first and the second, until you get the piece of 14 rows. Then I see you. And here comes my piece of 14 stitches times 14 rows, and I start the measurement now. First, I measure the length of 10 stitches, only 10. Start with the second stitch. And I get 4.2 centimeters. And then I apply the same method for the length of the row, also 10 rows. Also not start from the first row. And I get 2.9 centimeters. And you can use my gauge if you have the same size of yarn and needle, otherwise you have to do it yourself. So after the gauge, now we can start our project. And here comes the orange yarn that I will use for the provisional cast. To start the provisional cast, first I make a knot, and then I use the crochet hook to create a chain with 48 chains. And a tip for you here, that you should keep your hand relaxed. Don't create so tight chain, because this part later will become the collar, so you have to make sure that it have enough stretch. So here comes the last chain, the chain number 48, and because I don't want to break the yarn, so this last one I will pull the tail longer to keep it secure, like this. And I show you, this side will be the side that we use for the next step, not another one. And the next step will come that I use the circular needle size US4 or 3.5 millimeter, and I start with the white color to pick up 48 stitches, like this. You just first you take the needle, go through the leg, and then you use the white yarn, grab it and pull it through. Also the tip here, that you don't create, you don't make it tight. You see the leg, because after this we will pick off another 48 legs to create another 48 stitches. So make sure that you relax your hand and pick all the 48 stitches up. I see you next. Here comes my 48 stitches ready, and I show you that the pace between the stitches is good. It looks like this, and you see there is another 48 legs. That's why we use the orange instead of the white color, so we see the leg to pick it up later. So that is the purpose of the orange. And now I start the second row with all pulling, like this, and you pull all through 48 stitches. And here come the last And now I turn to the third row, and the third row will be the knitting row, so it means that you knit all through 48 stitches. So now I turn my work to the row number 4, and on the row number 4 we start picking off all the legs that you see, all the white one. It will become another 48 stitches. And first we have to figure out the first leg. It looks a little bit different compared to the rest, and here is the first one. So first you use your right needle to pick the leg up, take the yarn back, and then you play the stitch on your left needle like this, and then you knit it. And the next one will be pull. And now you repeat the second leg the same way. That first you just pick it up, play it to the left needle, and then you knit it, and you pull the stitch on the needle, and so on. So you keep on doing until you get all the leg off, and the totally amount of stitches on the right needle when you finish will be 96 stitches. Then I see you there. So here come the last leg and the last stitch. And I have my 86 stitches ready, and as you can see, the thing we just did is basically ripping, ripping. And here you see it look like 2 layer, but actually it's only one, and it looks very nice compared to normal cast on. And the next step, I will remove the orange, and in this step you should remove it gently, that you remember the tail, just pull from it, and when it gets stuck, just give a little help. Don't pull it hard. Use another needle to give a help, and then pull, separate it like this. Be gentle. So after this row, I start a new row, and I count this as a row number 3, because as you see that actually we did 4 rows, but when we fold it up it become only 2 rows. So now I start the counting again, and for the next row I change the color, and also I change the smaller needle. So the row number 3 start with smaller needle, and the first stitch will be slip stitch. Then the second stitch will change to the new color, and it will be knit stitch. And the first A stitch is for the left button band. It's 5, knit stitch number 6, 7 is pulling, and now come to the 8th, And for the stitch number 8, because I want to make a little bit different look, just to make it look nicer, so I don't knit or pull as normally, but I slip it by this way. You see, I slip the stitch. I do it again, that I slip it from the front loop, and then I play the marker. So I'm done with the left button band. For the next part, it will be the next 40 stitches, and I will just follow the current pattern, and that is K1 P1, and this will be 40 times of K1 P1, as you can see. So first I go with the K1 and then P1, and I repeat it 40 times, and you keep on doing it until there is only 8 stitches left on another side. Then I see you there. And here I come to another side, and I play the marker when I only have 8 stitches left. And after the marker, the first stitch will be a slip stitch, like this. I forget that first I have to take the yarn to the back, then I slip it, and now I change the pattern for the rest of the right button band. And as you see, the next stitch is pull, so I change it to knit stitch. Then after knit stitch will be pull stitch, and when come to the last 2 stitches is called edge stitches. And for the edge stitches, first I slip it, and because we're on the right side, so the last stitch will be knit stitch. So I'm done with the row number 3. Now I turn my work to the wrong side and start the row number 4. And for the row number 4, first stitch always a slip stitch, and then come the pull stitch, and change the pattern for the rest. That this stitch will change to knit stitch, and then pull stitch, knit, and here come the stitch before the marker. I will pull it, but not from the front loop, from the back loop, like this. And now I just slip the marker. And for the next part is 40 stitches. I keep on following the pattern, that it will be 40 times of K1 P1. As you can see very clearly how it is. So first will be K1 and then P1, and you repeat until there is only 8 stitches left. Now I come to again to the left button band, so I slip the stitch, and the stitch after the marker, also I pull it, not from the front loop but from the back loop. And remember to change the pattern for the rest, that it will be pull, then knit, then pull, And for the last two stitches, the edge stitches, the first one will be slip, and then the last one will be pulled. This, and now I turn to the row number 5, and on the row number 5 you do exactly the same as the row number 3. That first you do the button band. Always the first stitch will be a slip stitch. I just slip it, and then next stitch, then you change the red. And after the marker, you just repeat the K1 P1 40 times until you see another marker. Then I see you. And on this part, I will create the first buttonhole. But first I go all the way there, slip the marker, and the first stitch after the marker will be a slip stitch. Then the next one will be knit stitch, and now I will bind up 2 stitches, as you see here. Also you have to change the pattern first, and then you slip the stitch from the right to the left and knit them both from back loop. And for the next one, you slip it to the right needle and knit it also from the back loop. And now just go normally, change the pattern. And for the last 2 stitches, the edge stitches will be slip 1 and then knit 1. And for easier counting, for the next buttonhole I play a marker, so I know that here is the row number 5 where I make the first buttonhole, and I repeat the action after 20 rows. It means that the next one will happen on the row 25. And now I turn my work to the row number 6. For the row number 6, we will do the same as the row number 4. But on this row I have to create back 2 stitches that I bind up here, and I show you how. That you grab the yarn by your thumb, and then you cast on 2 stitches, pull it tight, and you just continuing. Remember to change the pattern, and now it will be just 40 times. So after this row you do 2 more rows. This means that you get totally 8 rows. Then I see you in the row number 9. And after getting 8 rows, I do the measurement. It's about 2 centimeters, and I think that is good. So on the row number 9, I change to the bigger needle size, 3.5 millimeters. And first I follow the routine of the button band, slip stitch, and normally After the two edge stitches, I change the pattern. As you see, it start forming. Nicely. And now after the marker, I don't do the ribbing anymore, but these next 80 stitches will be all pulling, and you keep the routine for the right button band, and I see you in the row number 10. And so now I'm done with the row number 9 and ready to go for the row number 10. And on the row number 10, I call this the setup row for the next step. And here come a bunch of the marker in different color. As you can see, I have black, I have white, I have red, and different color means different purpose. So the row number 10, start by doing the routine for the button band. And I change the color to the gray one, so I have the same color for both button band. And after the marker, I keep on pulling another 7 stitches, and then I play the black marker, and black mean make the U-turn on the right side. And after I play another marker after 3, and it will be red, and red means increase 2 stitches. And after the red will be another 6 stitches, and it will be red, and then after this will be another 6, and it will be no, actually after this, the red one have to be the black one, and after this black one will be another black one after 6, and you see we have 3 black one, and this means make a U-turn, so we have to make 3 U-turns on the right. And now we move on for another 6 and play the red one, and red mean increase 2 stitches. And after this red one will be another red one after 24 stitches, and another red one after 24, and after 24 will be another color, and it will be a white one after 6 from the red, and white means make the U-turn on the wrong side. And now another white after 6, And after another 6 will be a red one, and now after 3 will be the white one. So I'm done with the markers now. I just go all the way to the end. I keep doing the routine for the left button band. And now I'm done for the setup, ready to go for the next step. But the next step will be happening in the part 2. And I hope you enjoy watching the video. Thank you for watching and see you.